Great conversation. Meanwhile, straight ahead, Andrew McCabe now admits the Department of Justice considered bureaucratically overthrowing the Trump administration and tossing the president out. That story's next. They want to amend some of it. We also have breaking news on the Jussie Smollett investigation, plus more of Tucker, who's never been better. All right, in a soon-to-be-released blockbuster 60 Minutes interview set to air this Sunday, fired FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe said that the DOJ seriously considered an effort to have the bureaucracy remove President Trump from office. CBS's Scott Pelley explained on Thursday what McCabe told him, and we'll hear Sunday.
There were meetings at the Justice Department in which it was discussed whether the vice president and a majority of the cabinet could be brought together to remove the president of the United States under the 25th Amendment. The Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, offered to wear a wire. A statement was released after that was never serious, it was sarcastic, etc. McCabe, in our interview, says no. It came up more than once, and it was so serious that he took it to the lawyers at the FBI to discuss it.
Wow. Now, though Andrew McCabe is trying to walk back those comments to a degree, claiming his 25th Amendment talk was taken out of context, Dan Bongino not buying it. He's a former Secret Service agent and the author of Spygate, the attempted sabotage of Donald J. Trump, joins us now. Dan, interesting. Does Andy McCabe think we don't remember the last time we saw him, and that's being fired because he lied?
Yeah, he definitely has a credibility problem, Brian. I mean, according to multiple reports out there for anyone to see on the Internet, he's being investigated by a grand jury for lying about leaks to the media. He has a serious credibility problem. Keep in mind also, Brian, this is the same guy whose wife ran for office as a Democrat, took substantial money from people connected to the Democrat and Clinton machine, and then refused to recuse himself from that case investigating Mrs. Clinton until the end of the year. But, Brian, the most important takeaway from all this is, of course, Andy McCabe's trying to walk this back. This guy, he's not that bright. He just admitted in a 60 Minutes interview, according to Scott Pelley, to taking part in a coup attempt.
Right.
That's just the hard facts. There's no way he's going to weasel his way out of this.
Well, Scott Pelley summarized what he said, so we'll see Sunday. But this is the walk back. You ready for this? He was present and participated in a discussion that included a comment by Deputy Director Rod Rosenstein, Attorney General, regarding the 25th Amendment. So he's saying it wasn't a big meeting, it was just mentioned once. Rosenstein came out and said, yeah, I said I'll overthrow the president, but I said it sarcastically, I'd wear a wire. I don't like either one of these, either side of this conversation.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Brian, but when I go to dinner with my friends, I don't just casually bring up like, hey, you want to go rob a bank? Oh, don't worry, I was just kidding. Like, there's some things as the deputy director of the FBI. Let me just give him like a pro tip, right? It's probably not a good idea from a former federal agent. Granted, I wasn't the deputy director of the Secret Service, but probably not a good idea to hit the 25th Amendment. In other words, removing a president from office for an obviously nonsensical reason, some physical incapacitation. This guy, Brian, make no mistake, he was this was the discussion of a soft coup. There is no other way around this. I don't know if he's just not that bright, and he said this to Scott Pelley, not realizing what he was admitting to, but it's clear to me now that Rosenstein and him have a lot of culpability in this. Rosenstein with the FISA, McCabe admitting, by the way, on the record that the case wouldn't have existed without the dossier, and they're both essentially two guys who have culpability sitting in two separate rooms being interviewed by law enforcement who are trying to be the first to rat on each other to get the best deal.
And he admitted he started an obstruction of justice probe before Robert Mueller was even in the picture, and he did it to make sure the counterintelligence operation wasn't shelved with his firing after Comey was fired. Really? So to stop you were fearful of a counterintelligence investigation stopping, so you started an obstruction of justice, and then you got fired anyway. My head's spinning, but all I know is this president's being hampered by an investigation that just won't go away. Dan, I want to talk to you Monday after we see the entire thing. Is that all right?
Yeah, listen, Brian, of all the players in this, McCabe is, I believe, the one with the most culpability. Remember, he was involved in the Clinton investigation and the Crossfire Hurricane one, and he's got that issue with his wife running for office, too. He's got a lot of culpability here. Big trouble for McCabe.
This is why Dan Bongino is one of the best people to talk to about this case. Dan, thanks so much.